By getting all of that ready, up to code and all, and allowing us to open that camp, there are maybe, in one of those rooms, there are going to be maybe as many as 100 kids that are going to be in those beds this summer. And out of that 100 kids, statistically, 30 or 40 of those kids are going to make some kind of an open public decision for Christ in one room in 1 year. You multiply that out by a decade, you're looking at 1,000 kids, you're looking at 300-400 kids. So you have just given the opportunity for hundreds of kids to have a place to stay where they're going to hear the gospel and they're going to respond. And next Tuesday, Lotsie will give the invitation, and you're going to see it with your own eyes, because some of the kids that you're going to be teaching English to and baseball to and all that kind of thing, some of those kids are going to go up and stand right up there on that stage and say, I've made that decision and I'm not ashamed. And so I want you to know that that's really what this is about. It's not about Word of Life, it's not about the beds, it's not about the buildings, it's not about the health department. It's about the kids. We have kids that we give a free week of camp that get a full scholarship from a place called the Menadake or Refuge Foundation that was founded by one of our board of directors, and it's for either homeless families or kids who need foster care or orphans, and they have 3 centers throughout Hungary, and we give them scholarships, and some of those kids will possibly be Menadake kids. We also have 16 young people this summer coming from the Fote home where you guys have been. This is a state orphanage through Born Again to a Living Hope. And you have some kids that are going to be there from good Christian families, and you have some kids that have come out of a living hell. I think of one particular instance that's very sad. We got word several years ago of a kid that committed suicide. And he left a suicide note, and you know what he wrote? The gist of what he wrote was this. He told his parents the only week in his entire life that he ever felt loved and ever enjoyed himself was the week he spent at our Tolmash camp. And I don't know if that kid ever trusted Christ or not, but he said that was the only week of joy in his entire life. And you may not directly lead these kids to Christ, but by providing a clean bed, by providing a beautiful place, by providing a nice clean slide to go down, by providing a place to know English, somebody that really has interest in a kid, to show them how to play baseball. Some of these kids, there's hardly been anybody that showed them attention in their whole lives. And others have come from great homes. And so that's what you're doing, and that's really what all of this is about, and I wanted you to know that. And it does last. A couple of months ago, I was coming home about 5 o'clock from the camp, and there was a couple that wanted to come in and look around. Well, place is closed. I don't want to hang around and do this stuff. And I said, I'm really sorry, it's closed. Why do you want to come in? And the guy said, well, actually, I came from Budapest. I brought my wife here to see this place. I said, oh, really? Well, how do you know about it? He said, this is kind of a special place to me. I said, why? He said, well, I was here in 1991, and I was just a little kid then, and I made a decision to trust Christ over there by the campfire, and I wanted to take my wife to see the spot where my life changed forever. I said, I got time, I'll show you. So that's what we're talking about. That's what this is really all about. It's much, much, much more than water slides and bricks and mortar. It's about these kids. And as you go through next week, I just hope you fall in love with the young people of Hungary. I hope you go away from here with a great joy in your heart for what the Lord has done, but maybe a little bit of a broken heart for the 10 million people that you're going to leave behind when you go back to the U.S., and realize how desperately so many of them need the Lord. And you can pray for us, because camp is only one part of what we do. We take Born Again to a Living Hope into schools, culture houses, civic centers, prisons, universities. We have a children's program that goes into schools and churches. In fact, you'll see a little version on Monday night of our children's program. We're going to do something similar to that in our camp on Monday evening. And then we've got the sports ministries with Deja and the Bible school, many, many things that go on here. And so thank you. I do thank you. And in behalf of all of our team, you know, it took something for you to get here. You had to raise funds. You had to take money out of your pocket. I don't know how you did it. Hopefully it was legal. You set time out when a whole lot of your friends are back home having fun and enjoying the summer and hanging out by the beach and who knows what all else. And you took time to come here and work. And so I just tip my hat to you. And I tell you that when you get to heaven and you meet up with the other kids that you didn't meet and will not meet this side of heaven, and most of all, when you stand before the Lord, you will say to yourself, it was the best investment I could have ever made with this time. So thank you. Thank you very much, and may the Lord bless you.